Transitions used in some videos and movies can be super complicated and really hard to pull off. But there's a certain category of transitions that can be done mostly in camera without any editing software. Those are called natural transitions, and in this video I'm going to be testing out different natural transitions from simplest to most complicated. Well, I actually already tested all these things. I'm just going to give commentary while I show the footage of me doing it. So the first one is the whip transition, and it's literally what the name is. It's just where you whip the camera in one direction at the end of a shot, and then in the beginning of the next shot, you whip it in the same direction and land on your subject, and the motion blur is basically supposed to cover up for where you make that cut. I think this one's going to work pretty well. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use something like a basketball hoop for the transition, but obviously I'm not going to be like filming an insane sports commercial. This is just to show you what it would look like. But I actually need my camera to film this, so I'm going to swap you guys out with this GoPro. Okay, I just realized how stupid this is actually going to be, like filming a basketball hoop, but whatever. Now, this transition normally would be used in some kind of workout video or action scene, but the problem is I don't actually have a production crew, so I'm just going to be filming boring still shots for this video. But that's fine because it doesn't actually affect the transition. So I'd say this transition went well overall, but one thing I did take away from it and learn is that you shouldn't go from one clip where the camera's tilting up to one clip where the camera's pointing straight forward, because that just kind of messes up the way it looks and it looks less seamless. Other than that, though, I think it went pretty well. Now, the next one is the behind object transition. That's actually not what it's called. It's just what I have written down in my notes. I tried to find it. I don't know what it's called. But it's basically where you move from one side of an object, like a pole or a tree, to the other, and then while that object is completely taking up the frame, that's where you make the cut. Even though this is only the second transition on the list, it very well might be the hardest. Well, I brought you here in the woods. Why, you may ask? Because this tree. No, but actually that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to try that, see how it works, and show you guys the result. So one thing I have to be careful of is that my camera doesn't have the best stabilization, so I'm definitely going to have to stabilize it in post later. Now, when I was filming this, I didn't know if I should go slow or fast past the tree, but in the end, going faster worked better because it masked the cut more. So one problem I actually had was that the second clip was brighter than the first one I took, so I just had to manually adjust that in the editor. I'd say I didn't do a great job with this one overall, but I did learn some things that would help me if I ever tried it again. Now, moving on to the third and final one, which is the match cut transition. A match cut is basically when you have two clips, and in both of the clips, the subject is in the same exact spot, in the same exact size, and same exact position that they were in the last one. So all I had to do really was make sure I was in the middle of the frame in both shots and the same distance away from my camera. Now, straight out of camera, this transition did not look that good, so what I did to fix that in the edit was I overlaid the clips on top of each other, and then I just changed the opacity of one of them, and then manually moved it around and changed the size so it would be perfectly lined up. I'd say overall through this whole experiment, the only transition that actually looked pretty good was the first one because it was the easiest. This video kind of does seem like a fail, but the point wasn't to show you guys how good I am at these transitions. It was to show you what I did wrong so you wouldn't make the same mistakes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.